Okay, let's get the elephant out of the room. I've been hearing constantly since the episode aired yesterday through YouTube and Twitter that the power struggle with Krillin and Goku when it comes to their ki waves is complete bullshit. Now hear me out, okay? Number one, Krillin, he has learned to overcome his fears. That was the whole point of his character development he received a couple of episodes ago, well, like 5 or 10 episodes ago. The whole point of that was to show how he developed, that he's finally moved past one of his biggest weaknesses with his character. His biggest flaw was his fear. It was one of the big things about his character throughout Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. It was something that held him back tremendously. It held him back. And he finally was able to overcome that, which resulted in him being able to be more confident and tap into more power, which he never could use because he couldn't face his fears. Number two, obviously, Goku wasn't using 100% of his power. He was just trying to scare Krillin. He was trying to see if Krillin would back down. When he did that, he was trying to see if Krillin would just say, enough is enough. One of the big things about Krillin is always facing up against enemies that are very, very stronger than him. Like, they're way beyond his power, and usually he got terrified. He was scared, and he would just, be like, just shriveling up all that. But that didn't happen. Krillin stood up against Goku. God Ki. Goku, Super Saiyan Blue, didn't back down and tried to power struggle with him. That is impressive. I am happy and proud of Krillin for being able to do such a feat. Now, once again, I want to emphasize the fact it's obvious Goku was holding back. There's no way he would want to kill his friend. Remember what was stated at the beginning of this match. It's a match with the tournament rules. That means Goku's not going to go in for the kill. He's not going to use 100% of his power and obliterate his best friend. That's not going to happen. He's using the tournament rules. So, obviously, Goku can't use full power. And so, the challenge here is actually trying to beat someone without killing them. Let's just put this in perspective for a second, okay? Many probably didn't realize this, and this is what kind of Goku learned in this episode. He realized what the tournament was really about. Not just teamwork, but how hard it's going to be to fight people that are definitely weaker than you in terms of power level, which I'm loving how this tournament is tackling that aspect. It was one of the biggest problems with Dragon Ball Z was just the power level standpoint. All the human characters, they couldn't stand up to like the Saiyans. They just could not keep up with them in terms of strength because it was always life or death situations. But this tournament is not about that. It's following the martial arts rules. It's following what the world tournament goes by, and so there is no killing. What it really comes down to is the mind, strategy, tactics, skill, whatever, technique. It comes down to that. It doesn't come down to brute strength. Yes, that's a part of it, but it doesn't just 100% come down to just beating the shit out of your opponents, and that's just it. GG. No, it doesn't come down to that. And that is what Goku learned. In fact, Goku had such a big handicap in this fight. You got to think about it like this from Goku's perspective, but also Krillin's too. Goku, he's insanely strong. The man is ridiculous. He's in the god level tier, okay? And going up against someone that is, let's be frank here, as weak as Krillin in terms of just power level, like there's just no way he can compare into raw strength with Goku. Obviously, that's a big handicap for Goku, to try to not kill his friend. Going all out like that, fighting, using ki waves, all that, that's going to be hard on you to try to hold back your strength. And that's what's going to be happening in the tournament. There's going to be a lot of fighters that are probably very strong and maybe very weak, maybe even weaker than Krillin. But the tournament doesn't come down to strength. It comes down to the mind, how you outsmart your opponent. And that is what Krillin was doing to Gohan. Gohan got his ass beat, not by raw strength, but technique. We gotta also remember this from Gohan, too. As a character, Gohan has always been in a life or death situation. He has never really been in a World Martial Arts Tournament. Yes, you could talk about the beginning of the Buu Saga and all that, but you gotta remember, Gohan didn't really get to fight. He just got paralyzed, and then he got dragged off into where Buu was, to where Babidi was, and that resulted in, the entire World Martial Arts Tournament kind of being postponed or not even being cared about at all by them. So, when it comes to that, Gohan's never really been in a tournament. And the Cell games don't count either, because it's versus Cell, and that was a life or death situation. Just to go completely out there to make sure I clarify. So, Gohan, every fight he's really been in, like major fight throughout Dragon Ball Z, it was a life or death situation. He doesn't really have experience when it comes to tournament rules, going into a fight with rules. Goku has experience, but most of the time he's been fighting with raw strength, going in to completely finish your opponent, put them down for good, where they can't get back up again, and that's not going to work in this tournament at all. I've already stated this a couple episode reviews ago, that when it comes to this tournament and the rules, you can knock someone out, but they're not necessarily KO'd or out of the fight until you throw them out of the ring. So that would mean if Krillin got knocked out right at the start, and then, you know, everybody was to protect him, he can get back up, and he's not out of the match at all. So this is another thing when it comes to the match, tactics, strategy, and learning how to take a rest, or if someone's down, they can get back up. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's completely over, because you cannot kill someone, you cannot keep them down. So I like this. I love the way this episode was showcasing that the fighters that might not have as much raw strength as Goku or Vegeta and Gohan and Buu, they can still have a role to play, which shows how Master Roshi is going to have such a very big role in this arc, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate what this episode was trying to accomplish, but then it gets into the teamwork aspect as well, which Goku completely disregarded, because remember, this is Goku. He doesn't really do well with teamwork or people helping him out. And because of that, when you see the situation with 18 coming in to help Krillin, that's what Goku's going to have to face constantly throughout the entirety of this match. He's going to probably be having a power struggle, he's going to be going all in and all that to take down an opponent, and then someone else is going to come out of nowhere. It doesn't have to be the person's teammate, it could be another team in another universe that just comes in and tries to fuck over Goku because they just don't like him. So Goku needs to realize that it's not just about raw strength in this fight. You may be strong, you may be fast, but that's not all there is to it. And I like how Krillin opens up the match with Gohan by just using Solar Flare, making this man where he's blind, and then just pretty much KOs him. He just knocks him out of the ring. That is a nice way to go about it. So, yeah, I appreciate this episode. Now, besides all of that, the rules and the fighting and the meaning behind it, let's just talk about the fight, for instance, okay? The fight with Krillin and Goku, besides the difference in level of power, okay, obvious difference, the fight was so good. It looked so fucking good. I mean, the rain effect really added a lot to the atmosphere of that fight. When you just see the rain coming down, Krillin and Goku staring at each other, they're getting in their battle stances, that is just such a good moment of the episode when you see that being done. I'm like, yo, that was so good! When you see Krillin and Goku going at each other, they're just looking at each other, and the fight begins, Krillin uses Destructo Disc, and he outsmarts Goku and tries to make him, you know, get a ring out. I just love that aspect of the fight. So yeah, I feel like this episode of Dragon Ball Super was really enjoyable and probably is going to be underrated. I could see many not really liking this episode because of the Krillin and Goku beam power struggle with the Ki Blast, but I personally enjoyed it because I understand from the perspective of what was happening here, Goku can't go 100% out, and Krillin faced his fear, so that explains why he was standing up to him in the first place. So I just feel like many won't understand that, but who knows. So yeah, let's talk about the preview of next week's episode. So, I don't know if you've seen it. Like, I'm just gonna say, the spoilers if you haven't seen the preview next week, because it's pretty big. But, apparently, Majin Buu is slim. Like, he's Super Buu slim. Like, Kid Buu, Super Buu slim. Not short like Kid Buu, but he's skinny. Very, very skinny. Like, if you haven't seen the preview, go check it out. Buu has his normal face, but his body straight up looks like Super Buu. And I'm like, yo, I love the design of Super Buu. I love that design. And seeing, you know, Majin Buu have that form, I'm like, he's been training. What's going to happen here? How stronger is he? But also, is that going to be like a permanent form or like a transformation or something? I mean, that form reminds me a lot of the Xenoverse form. I don't know how many of you play Xenoverse. There could be a lot of you that watch Dragon Ball Super, but have never played Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which is on the Xbox and PlayStation. But there is a transformation for the Majin race. You can get this transformation, which is called Purification, and you could transform into a Kid Buu-looking form. Now, maybe this is what's going on here. Maybe it's Toei Animation's version of that transformation of, you know, Dragon Ball Xenoverse. And so, in this case, Yamatora Buu has maybe tapped into the Purification transformation, or he is, you know, being able to use an aspect of that, and I feel like that's where that's going. So if so, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Majin Buu is one of my favorite characters. I just love how he fights. The fighting style of Majin Buu is just, he always gets me jumping for joy, and how so many people underestimate him, and I'm super interested in finding out if that's a transformation or not, or if that's just going to be a form for, you know, the episode, and then he's going to go back to his normal form. I do hope it leads into something. I really do. I have a lot of high hope for that. It has a lot of potential. Just hopefully it's not wasted. But it just depends on where it goes. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.